Hi, in today's video, we are going into detail with feature construction, which is one of the feature transformation technique. We will see how to represent a categorical variable, which is nominal in nature, in a more powerful feature. We will see how to encode a categorical variable, which is ordinal in nature, into more powerful feature. Likewise, we will see how to transform numerical, which is a continuous type of feature, into a categorical feature. At the last, we will look into text-specific feature construction. Now, what is feature construction? So, feature construction is a feature transformation technique where given a set of input features are there and we generate new set of features which are more powerful. Now, what do we do inside feature construction? Say for example, we are having a data set with three attributes. First and second attributes are our input variable, which is apartment length and apartment breadth. And third feature is apartment price, which is nothing but our output variable, which is nothing but price of apartment. So here two features are there in an input, length and breadth. Are they collectively represent more powerful feature? So obviously if I create a new feature like area of apartment by multiplying length and breadth to produce an area of apartment. So that is more powerful feature to decide the price of an apartment. So previously my data was three-dimensional. We have added one more dimension. That's why now data set is four-dimensional data. Now, in what situations we do need to construct new features? So, features are constructed when your system is having categorical value. Remember what are the different types of values an attribute can take. An attribute can take ordinal value, categorical value, nominal value, and rational value. So all these are nothing but type of data. So if data is already a categorical in nature, machine learning algorithm requires numerical value for that feature. Say for example, we are supplying the value of blood group like A negative, AB positive, but system is not ready to accept that kind of output. It requires numerical input. So we need to first convert or construct the set of features according to that. In second scenario, say for example, data set is having numerical values, but machine learning algorithm requires an ordinal value. That means in this case, input is numerical value, but system requires an ordinal type of value. So in this case, we need to construct new set of features. Third type of situation where text specific features are there, we need to construct a new set of features. So these are the three situations where feature construction is required. Now let us look into the detail how we are working with feature construction. First we will see encoding categorical, that is nothing but nominal variable. Remember, nominal data is a textual kind of data or a data which is having string value and we do not have any relationship among any two values. Say for example here, as you can see, the column or an attribute city of origin is a nominal data because values for city of origin is city A, city B and city C. We cannot ordinate or we cannot find relationship between different type of cities. Like I cannot say city A is bigger than city B or city A comes before city B and so on. So there is no relationship among the values. That's why they are nominal in nature. Likewise, third attribute, that is parents athlete, is also having value yes or no. Yes is better than or greater than no value. Likewise, chance of win attribute, yes and no. Again, they are not having relationship among them. If machine learning algorithm requires numerical input instead of this categorical input, we need to create a new set of attributes. Now, how these new attributes are getting created? We are not going to touch our already numerical attribute, which is an age attribute. As you can see, city of origin is having three different values: city A, city B, and city C. So, what do? We will add three different attributes. So, age will be there. Then we will have city A attribute. Second attribute will be city B, and third attribute is city C. And say for example, for first row, age is 18 of an athlete student, then they are belonging to city A. So we will have value 1 to city A and two different zeros in city B and C respectively. Likewise, as you can see, parents athlete. Okay, so parents athlete are having two different values, yes and no. So here we will have parents athlete yes and parents athlete no. So as you can see here, value yes is there. So we will have value 1 under yes column and value 0 in the no column. Similarly, for chances of win, there are two different values, yes and no. So we will here have chances of win yes and chances of win no. So we will have, if value yes is over here, so we will have value 1 here and 0 value under the no column. So as you can see, we have constructed three different columns for as a replacement of our features number 2, and we have again two different columns as a replacement of feature number 3 and for feature number 4 also. Let me work for row number 2. Row number 2, student is having an age of 20. City belonging is city B, so we will have value 1 over here, and at city C and A we will have value 0. If parents are not athlete, we will have no category with 1 and yes category with 0. Are there any chances of win? Yes, then we will have 1 in yes category and no in Y category. If you observe carefully, between these two attributes or these two features, they are always complement of each other. That means whenever I will have value 1 here, I will have 0 value here. And whenever I will have 0 value here, I will have only 1 value here. So instead of creating two different features, we can create only one feature, parent athlete, with a binary values, whether 1 for yes and 0 for no. And similarly, we can have chances of win. Yes and no. Always they are also complement of each other, these two attributes. So we can combine these two and represent two different values of original attribute. As you can see, city of origin is now expanded or created three different cities: city of origin A, city of origin B, and city of origin C. And we are placing ones and zeros respectively according to their original data value given in original data set. We can obviously combine two attributes of parents athlete, yes or no. So instead of parents athlete yes or no, parent atlas yes is only kept. So whenever value 1 is there, we say yes, parents are athlete of a given student, and whenever value 0 is there, we can say parents are not athlete for given student. Similarly, for chances of yes or win, if y for this particular attribute, if 1 is there, that means there are chances of winning, and value 0 represents there are no chances of winning. Now let us take second example while we are encoding categorical value. Now these categorical values are ordinal in nature. That means even though they are string, they are in a form of text, but we can have relationship or an order among them. Which value comes first and later on which value is better or lesser than another value. So here as you can see, this is an example of a data set where marks of science, marks of math subject is given and grade is given. Now these two attributes are numerical and grade attribute is categorical. Within categorical, it is also ordinal. That means I can say grade A is the best grade. Then after grade B, after grade A there comes grade B, and after grade B we have grade C. So they are having relationship or an order among them. That's why they are called as an ordinal variable. So what we can do, we can simply give values to this order. Say for example, I know that A is the very first grade or the best grade, then B is the second grade and C is the third grade. So I can simply create a numerical grade attribute or numerical grade feature, and I can give an equivalent value to the grade. Say for example, B grade is the second type of grade, that's why value 2 is there. C grade is third type of grade, so value 3 is there. A grade is the first grade, that's why value 1 is there, and so on. Third type of example is transforming numerical feature into categorical. Numerical values are very large in nature, they are real, they are continuous in nature, but our system might require discrete values. So to convert continuous data into discrete data, we first convert continuous numerical data into categorical data, and that categorical data can be later on converted into in equivalent numerical discrete data. Let us understand with the process with the help of an example. This is an example where we have given an apartment area and apartment price is there. Now as you can see, apartment area is also real and continuous in nature, and apartment price is also real number and continuous in nature. My system needs to predict price, so I want categorization or discrete value of price. So I will select only one attribute at a time. Obviously you can convert this particular attribute also, but here I am only covering how to convert only one attribute. Later on you can do it by yourself for another attribute also. We create different bins or categories. Say for example, price from 1 lakh to 20 lakh. We say the price is low of given apartment. From 21 lakh to 30 lakh, we say price of apartment is medium. And from say 31 to say 50 lakh, we can say price of an apartment is high. So we will take an apartment price, we will see in which bin they are fitting, and we will replace it with the given bin header. Say for example, this is 23 lakhs and 60,000 is the price of an apartment. So 23 lakh and 60,000 fits in the second bin, and the title of second bin is medium. So we will remove this value and we will write down that medium is the price of an apartment. Likewise, for the second row, we have 12 lakhs and 15,000. So the value of the price of apartment will be low. For here, it will be again medium. Here we will have low. We will have high because 30 lakh 71,000 is falling in the high range, and 39,000 is also high. So this is the way how we transform a numerical feature to categorical, that is basically continuous feature to discrete feature. Okay, now to convert continuous to discrete, we convert numerical feature into categorical, and from categorical to again numerical. Okay, so this numerical is real in nature and this numerical will be discrete in nature. So instead of apartment price, we have created a new feature called as apartment grade feature, and they are having three different prices for low, medium and high. This window of low, medium and high is being decided by the data scientist itself. It is not a decision taken by machine, it is a decision taken by human. And later on we know how to convert our categorical but ordinal data into a discrete data. So I know that low is the smallest value and mid is the second largest value and the highest value is represented with 3. So I can, instead of writing medium, I can write value 2. Instead of writing value low, we can say it is value 1. And instead of high, we can have value 3, for example. Obviously, it is completely human's choice to say that high is the highest represented by 1, mid is represented by 2, and low is represented by 3. Last type of feature construction is nothing but text specific feature extraction. Now, what do we mean by text specific feature extraction? So, text is the most predominant medium of communication, and you will find this textual data along every site of over the web. Okay, you can get huge and huge traffic that is raising the textual data from different social networking sites and microblogging sites. And you need to perform an analysis based on that textual data. So this text mining is also, although an important area of research, but this textual data is very unstructured and which is not a straightforward data. So here we need to first convert this textual data to get converted into numerical equivalent which can be used by machine learning algorithms. And here we build something called as corpus of data. This corpus is a kind of digest which is getting converted into numerical equivalent representation. So this complete process of building a corpus and converting into numerical equivalent is called as vectorization process. Now let us look into vectorization process in depth with the help of an example. So this vectorization process is a process of counting word occurrences in a given document which belong to a corpus. Now corpus is nothing but a mini digest which is nothing but set of words that might get appear in a given document. Now, word occurrences, how do we calculate word occurrences? So, in a language, the processing token is called as unigram, which is nothing but a single word. But we can create a corpus of bigram, trigram, and n-gram. Now, what do we mean by bigram, trigram, and n-gram corpus? Say, for example, we have a text called as physician note, which states that patient has an evidence of macular degeneration. Okay, so this is the textual data that we find in some physician's note. And if I want to create a unigram corpus, I will take an individual word as by token to separate them. Now these tokens are getting separated with the help of some delimiters. Now space is one of the best delimiters. Second delimiter is comma, then we have semicolon. So all these are the delimiters which separate out the token. Now these token size can be a single word. So here if token size is a single word, we call it as a unigram corpus. While talking about bigram tokens, we must have two words in our one token. Say for example, patient has will be our one token, has evidence is another token, evidence of is our third token, of macular is our fourth token, and macular degeneration is our fifth token. So as you can see, bigram tokens are having two words in each of its token. Similarly, if we generate trigram corpus, we will have three words in one token. Patient has evidence will be our first token. As you can see, has evidence of is our second token. Evidence of macular is our third token. And of macular degeneration is our fourth token. Likewise, I can have n-gram corpus in which in each token we will have n words. Okay, so this is process of is a generating tokenization. So while tokenization, we generate a corpus and we tokenize the given sentence. Then we prepare or we complete, we build a count of each token and finally we normalize it. Let us take an example. Say for example, we have three reviews, good movie, not a good movie, and did not like a movie. So while performing a vectorization, I will here going with unigram corpus. Okay. So Unigram corpus, we have one token as good, second token as movie, third token is not. See, good is repeating, so it is already considered as token. I will not again consider it. Similarly, movie is also there, but it is already considered. I will not consider it. Did is another token, not is another token, and like. So we will have good, movie, not, a, did, like. Okay, so these are nothing but our corpus, this set of attributes. Now over the x-axis we are having set of reviews. Okay, good movie, not a good movie, did not like it. So if particular token appears within a review, we will put value 1, otherwise put 0. So here good is appearing, that's why 1, movie is appearing, no other tokens are appearing, that's why value 0. So the vector for view good movie will be 1 1 0 0 0 0. For not good movie, it will be 1 1 1 1 0 0. For did not like it, it will be 0 0 1 0 1 1. And when count, we will at the end count how many times a particular word appears. Okay, so number of occurrences of each token is counted. Say for example, it is a huge paragraph of a review in which we say the is appearing in first review 80 times. We have a term TF-IDF 20 times in a given review. So the vectorization, the letter vectorization is appearing 7 times in a particular word or 7 times in a review. So here we are basically building the count of each and every word, and we finally normalize it. So while normalizing, we represent in a form of vector. Okay, so it might happen that more than 50 to 80 times this word is appearing, the word is appearing. So we cannot write down a vector as 50, 70, 30, 10 and so on. We need to normalize these values, say for example 7, 5, 2, 1 and so on. So we will try to normalize to form a matrix which where each token is representing a particular row. As you can see, this house is built, their theater movie good and lonely. Okay, so this vector will be 2 1 1 0 0 1 1 1 1 0. So this is what we called as document term or term document matrix. So the term document matrix is a normalized tokenized matrix. So this is all for today's lecture. We have seen what is feature construction and how to construct feature to represent our categorical nominal data into an equivalent numerical data, categorical ordinal data into numerical equivalent data, and how to convert a continuous data into categorical and finally discrete numerical data. And we have also seen the text specific feature construction. Thank you everyone for watching this video. This is Munira Topia signing out.